going on, Dodgers Nation? Doug McCain here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. Could James Outman be the next star for the Dodgers? What kind of role will he have with LA next season? We're going to dive into that in just a second. But quick reminder for all latest Dodgers news and rumors, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comment section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day: on a scale of 1 to 10, how high are you on James Outman? How do you think LA should use him next season? And who will have a better year in 2023, James Outman or Cody Bellinger? Let me know down below. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So today is the first episode of a new series we're doing where we're breaking down all the Dodgers' top prospects. And in just a second, I'm going to be joined by Dodgers prospect guru, Mr. Tim Rogers. And today we're breaking down the legend, James Outman. Look, I was calling him James You Can't Get Me Out Man because he was a tough out man when he stepped onto the scene. Look, he started the year at AA Tulsa. By late June, he was promoted to AAA Oklahoma City. He made his MLB debut versus the Rockies in Denver on July 31st, and Outman had himself a day, a historic day. He became just the 8th Dodger in franchise history to leave the yard in his first at-bat. And if you look at his first 8 plate appearances, he goes home run, strikeout, single, double, single, hit by a pitch, walk, and then a double. So he started his Dodger career going 5 for 6, having reached base 7 times in his first 8 plate appearances. And I think one of the big what-ifs is, what if he got a bigger opportunity last season? Look, they could have placed Gavin Lux on the IL in September and brought up Outman to get some more experience, but after the August 4th game against the Giants, he was optioned back to Oklahoma City, where he remained for the rest of the season. And when he returned, he hit for the cycle twice in a span of 4 games at the end of August for AAA Oklahoma City. If you look at his minor league numbers, he raked down there in AAA. He ended up slashing 294, 393, 586, hit 31 dingers, had 31 doubles, 106 RBI, 13 stolen bases, 152 strikeouts to 70 walks. And yes, that 43.8% strikeout rate was higher than you would want it in his sip of coffee with the Dodgers last season, and he did struggle mildly against breaking balls. He went over 5 against breaking stuff. He's a great fastball hitter, but still the potential is there with James Outman, and with Cody Bellinger gone, he could step into a more prominent role in 2023. And now I want to bring in my friend, Mr. Tim Rogers. He, of course, runs Dodgers 2080, a site dedicated to all the Dodgers prospects. He's the Dodgers prospect guru. You can follow him on Twitter and Instagram at SD Dodgers. You can find him at Dodgers 2080 as well. But Tim, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on James Outman, and what kind of impact do you think he can have this season for LA?
Yeah, I think he could definitely have a better season than Cody did last year. That's not, the bar's low there, but there's a ton of talent. He's the best athlete in the organization with Jaren Kendall retiring. And, he's a guy that he's a late bloomer. When he got to Ogden back in 2018, Dustin Kelly was a hitting coach at the time. They totally tore apart his swing, and he's been working on it for years. But if you look at his progression, he keeps getting better. And even after he was with the Dodgers for that short and sweet time, man, he blew it up at Oklahoma City. And so I think if anyone is going to give you, something with improvement, it's going to be him. There's no one's going to sell out harder than him. And so yeah. I think he's at least earned a chance at getting, hey, let's give him 300 or 400 at bat, see what he can do.
So, yeah, Tim, if that is the case and he can have a better season than Cody Bellinger did last year, you're saving a ton of money. I liked a lot of things you said. He's one of the most athletic players on the team. No one's going to sell out harder than him. And, yeah, I also love the fact that he did rake at the minor league level. He is ready to go. He has nothing more to prove down there, and I think they do absolutely have to give him a shot. And, of course, one of the most discussed Dodgers topics this offseason is that center field position. Cody Bellinger was holding it down. down, but he's now in Chicago. But the Dodgers, they found Trayce Thompson last season, a real Cinderella story. He got most of the reps in the NLDS. But do you like James Outman over Trayce Thompson in center to start the season?
I would. I like Trayce being able to come in late for whoever's playing in left field. I mean, it could be Miguel Vargas out in left field. We might need a defensive replacement, or it could even be Michael Busch if they listen to me. But he's a guy. I think you just leave him out there, let Trayce do his thing back and forth, and if Trayce earns the playing time, give it to him. And I think that's one of the things I really want to see this season. I'm tired of Doc going, these are my guys, and I'm just going to play these guys because they're my guys. Well, a lot of those guys are gone now. And so it's time to open up the competition. Let these guys battle it out in spring training and give them a shot.
Exactly, Tim. The cream is going to rise, and you have to give these guys an opportunity. Look, what's the point of having a lottery ticket unless you're going to check the winning numbers? They have to see what they have in these young up-and-coming prospects and see if these guys have what it takes to grow into a prominent role. Can they be that next Dodgers star? But, Tim, I want to ask you about Outman's role that he's going to have for the team next season. Do you think they'll give him a starting position? Do you think they'll platoon him? Because it feels like at this point you're looking at a platoon-type role for James Outman. Would you agree, Tim?
Yeah, regretfully, I think that they'll drop him right into a platoon. I think that's what they do with a lot of these guys, other than the really elite prospects, and James is not considered one of those. He's not their top guy. He's a guy that's had to earn his way through the system. So I do see him possibly getting platooned, but it's better than nothing. And I think he can at least hit a 94-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle of the plate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's a fastball right down Broadway. James is hitting it out, man. And really the only chink in his armor last season was that high strikeout rate. Yes, it was a very limited sample size at the big league level, just 16 plate appearances, but he did strike out at a 43.8% clip. His strikeout rate at the minor league level was high. What do you think he can do to try to reduce that number? Do you think that's important, the fact that he strikes out so much?
Yeah, if he wants to level it out a bit, I guess that would help. But, the thing that I see with James is, he was drafted in the 7th round as a guy that no one had even close to that pick as an athlete. And he keeps getting better. And so I see him actually, even without any major adjustments, just getting better and better. I think it's just more experience, more comfort with the swing. He is coachable, though. There's a difference. I'm not positive that some of the previous players that were occupying this position were the most coachable people out there.
Yeah, Tim, that's a great point. The fact that James Outman continues to improve. He wasn't this big, flashy prospect at the beginning. Look, he even started last season at AA Tulsa, but he's made those incremental improvements, and you can tell that he's a grinder. He's a guy that's going to go in and put in the work and try to maximize his skill set. And I think at the next level, you'll see with better coaching, with more opportunities and experience, that he's going to improve on that number. And also, too, I think with him, it's about just patience at the plate, pitch recognition. It's not like he has a major flaw in his swing or his approach or his setup. I think it's about just identifying pitches and just getting more valuable experience at the next level. Now, when it comes to where he fits in with the top prospects in the Dodgers organization, how untouchable of a prospect at all do you consider James Outman?
Yeah, I'm pretty high, but he's not on the untouchable list. I mean, that's reserved for a couple of guys at the top. But he's in the in the upper middle. I think he's not a guy that you give away. And, I would, of course, hey, if something happens with a trade and you want to include him and you get a legit center fielder or a shortstop or something like that, of course you consider that. But I think the guy deserves a shot. I think he would be a great Dodger. He's the type of guy that the Dodgers really like.
Yeah, Tim, I love that point. He definitely fits with this organization's values, a guy that just wants to contribute and be ready wherever they want him to be. If it's in the outfield, outfield as a platoon guy, a guy that comes off the bench. Outman is a guy that he's just ready to have an impact any way he can. But when it comes to his power numbers, when you look at his projections for next season, if he does get those opportunities, I do think he can put up some nice numbers. Fangraphs has him projected to hit 18 bombs next season. I'm going to ask you this question, Tim. Over or under 20 home runs for James Outman in 2023?
That's a good number. He's right around that number. Give him. He's got to get close to 500 at bats to get that number, though.
Yeah, it's really just about the opportunities. If you look at that swing, it's made for hitting home runs. He knows how to lift the ball, and I think if he does get those opportunities, he's a guy that can hit 20-plus home runs in 2023. Now, I want to circle back a little bit to Cody Bellinger because I want to give you some credit here. Feel free to take a victory lap if you want to, Tim. But you're the first guy that told me earlier in the season when Cody Bellinger was going through his struggles that you would rather have a guy like James Outman who can play the position at a much cheaper price and is not going to cost you 17+ million to have Cody Bellinger struggle at the big league level. And this was even before Outman made his major league debut. Now, do you think that the Dodgers' trust in Outman played a factor in them non-tendering Cody Bellinger?
I think some of it, I think, is definitely part of it. I think his defense will be as good as Cody's this next year. Cody, to me, seeing him in the outfielders last year, I mean, him trying to lining up to make a throw, his throws were terrible. They were off. He wasn't getting under it and getting the ball in front of him so he could run towards it and get that momentum going forward towards the base. I don't think he's lazy, but he looked lazy out there. I just think he was lost and that mental block, he was not the guy. And so James it's not going to matter at the plate with him. He's not going to take that into the field. He's going to go and he's going to ball out the whole time.
Yeah, Tim, and it sounds like you really like Audie's attitude. And a lot of people have told me the same thing about his buy-in, about his work ethic. I love the fact you said that he's going to ball out. He's not going to let that impact his game. And I do think that it was a part of the Dodgers' decision-making process. I don't think they said, oh, we have James Outman, so we'll just non-tender Cody Bellinger. It's probably a little more complicated and nuanced than that because we know how much this organization, how much they really leave no stone unturned. They do their due diligence in every decision they make. And they also made some signings where they signed Bradley Zimmer. You saw them bring in Jason Hayward. So they do have some depth in the outfield spots if some of these younger guys aren't able to contribute. But I do think that James Outman is a guy who it does feel like he has that star potential. Will he realize that next season? I'm not so sure because that's a lot to ask, especially for his first real year of having a role for the Dodgers. But do you think that there's a chance that he can grow into that star and maybe the Dodgers don't have to go out there and swing a big impact trade for, let's say, a Brian Reynolds type?
Yeah, I think, if you give him the 4 months, right up to the trade deadline, they're going to know. And I think there's a better than average chance that he's a decently productive player. I'm not going to say he's going to go and hit 50 home runs, but, the way my home run prediction was like, 4 home runs every 100 at bats, hit 250, play some great defense. That's a better season. That's a gain from last year. And it's a lot cheaper. It's $17 million cheaper than, or $16 or $17 million cheaper than last year.
But that is my guy, Mr. Tim Rogers. You can follow him on Twitter and Instagram at SD Dodger. Of course, follow his website, Dodgers 2080. He is the prospect guru. You're not doing this Dodgers fan thing right unless you're following Tim Rogers. So be sure to follow him and go to his website at Dodgers2080.com. But let me know down below in the comment section, on a scale of 1 to 10, how high are you on James Outman? What kind of role do you think he should have for the Dodgers next season? And who's going to have a better year in 2023? Is it going to be Cody Bellinger or James Outman? Let me know down below. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all the latest Dodgers news and rumors all season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.